market. Call Miles Homes, the affordable alternative.
Did he say no?
He said no down payment.
Channel 5, KSTP TV, St. Paul, Minneapolis.
Last year, more than 700 Minnesota businesses went bankrupt, and the numbers are up sharply again this year. I'm Cindy Bricado, and today we're going to spend some time looking at the significance of this trend and the factors behind it. And then a little bit later in this newscast, Arthur Ballett will be along to give a preview of True Confessions, that movie review and more coming up next.
Eyewitness News at 5 with meteorologist Dennis Falcon and newscaster Cindy Bricado.
Good afternoon, everyone. Once again, teachers' strike lead the news, but for the first time, tempers are beginning to wear thin. Stan Turner in the newsroom with that story. Stan.
Right, Cindy, thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. That is correct. Nowhere, it seems, are tempers more short than in the Anoka-Hennepin School District, where threats of violence have forced the school board there to revoke an earlier decision, and so they've canceled an important homecoming football game scheduled for tonight between Coon Rapids and Irondale. Now, school officials reportedly feared that a confrontation might develop between picketing teachers and some members of the community. Those fears had been sparked by anonymous phone calls, which were placed earlier this week, those phone calls coming into administration headquarters.
We were literally thinking that some of the calls that were being made to different individuals more than just crank calls, and it was a fact that we really should look into this thing seriously. And so the safety factor of the students really became an important part of the decision.
The board's decision to cancel tonight's game led to a protest rally this afternoon by Coon Rapids High School students. And we'll have a complete report on that rally, as well as a talk with the district's athletic director tonight at 6 o'clock. In the meantime, a handful of students at Anoka-Hennepin Senior High showed up near the teachers' picket line today to show how they feel about the stalled contract talks and the strike. These kids say it's not the football game so much, but the day-to-day contact with friends and the education they're missing that's upsetting them. The Teachers Association says members tried to discourage the students from picketing near the teachers, but when they insisted, saying it was their own idea, the teachers welcomed the company. We'll have more on both stories later. That'll be during the 6 o'clock edition of Eyewitness News. So, here now is the tally. There are 11 school districts whose teachers are out on strike. Walnut Grove school teachers took to the picket lines this morning. And as the number of strikes grows, the pressure builds on the state mediators trying to settle the disputes. The director of the State Bureau of Mediation Services says his staff would have to quadruple to handle the present workload. Just this week, the Bureau started bringing in 4 mediators from Iowa to help alleviate the backup. The average waiting time for a mediator to attend a negotiating session is now 3 weeks. The mediator shortage is not only delaying some settlements, but it's also taking its toll on the mediators themselves. Since teacher talks began, one mediator has suffered a heart attack and is preparing for open heart surgery. We'll have more on this story tonight at 6 o'clock from Lindsay Strand. In other news this Friday, Isaac Brown, accused of killing Minneapolis police officer Richard Miller, appeared in court today for arguments by his attorney for a change of venue. But as our Ron Cummings reports here, the attempt to move Brown's trial was delayed.
The attorney representing Isaac Brown was prepared to argue for a change of venue today to try and move Brown's first-degree murder trial out of Hennepin County. But attorney Philip Resnick was unable to get copies of news stories broadcast by local TV stations. The stories included coverage the day Minneapolis policeman Richard Miller was shot and killed, the crime Brown is charged with. The subpoena to TV stations also asked for stories dealing with one-man patrols, a patrol system policeman blamed for Miller's death. Channel 5 executive news producer Dennis Herzig testified, as did one other TV station spokesman, that the tapes simply weren't ready.
We're talking a stack so high or so, plus scripts of hundreds and hundreds of pages of scripts to turn in for in a week, and it's almost impossible.
Attorney Resnick later told Eyewitness News why he needs the stories for his change of venue arguments, including stories about new police training for one-man patrols.
Well, because immediately after the shooting, if you recall, there was a picketing and protests regarding the policy and so on. And people hear that, and then I think they associate that with the shooting. And as I say, on one of the stations, and I can't recall which one it was, this is one of the reasons for seeing the tapes, they were talking about that, and they were also talking about these defense techniques, and there was kind of a reenactment of the shooting of Officer Miller.
Brown will be back in court in 10 days when the change of venue motion will be heard again, along with another defense motion to dismiss the first-degree murder indictment against Brown based on a constitutional challenge to the state law he was charged under. This is Ron Cummings, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
A 31-year-old man was shot and killed in North Minneapolis early this morning. Police say Robert Lee Jones was found with a gunshot wound in his head in front of a house on Irving Avenue North. That was shortly before 6 a.m. A rifle and a gas grenade were found near the body. Police say they have a suspect in custody. The former First Lady, Bess Truman, was released today from a Kansas City hospital where she had been treated for a mild stroke. For the 96-year-old